The carving knife slips from my damp fingers, clattering against the granite countertop of my sister's suburban Dallas kitchen. A streak of cranberry sauce splatters across my white apron, bright red and violent, like a warning sign I've ignored for years. From the living room, just a few feet and a lifetime away, I hear laughter rise over the swell of Christmas music. The sound of clinking glasses, the familiar cadence of family chatter, all without me. I glance at the turkey resting on the counter, its skin golden and perfect, a product of 2 days of marinating, basting, and checking oven temperatures. My masterpiece. And yet, I know exactly what's happening in the next room. My family is praising Emily, my younger sister, who swooped in at the last second with her glossy curls and charming stories, and somehow still manages to wear the crown of holiday host, despite never actually cooking a thing. Couldn't have done this without Emily, I hear my mother declare, her voice carrying easily over the music. The words slice through me sharper than any knife. I've been here since Wednesday. Grocery lists, recipe prep, hours in the kitchen. Emily arrived this morning, carrying nothing but a bottle of wine she probably grabbed on the way. Yet Mom beams at her as though she single-handedly pulled Christmas from the sky. I bend to retrieve the knife, my knees aching as they hit the hard tile. From this angle, I can see them through the doorway, Dad refilling Emily's glass, Mom fluffing the throw pillows behind her, Uncle Gary leaning in to hear about her latest work trip. No one even glances toward the kitchen. Toward me. 3 weeks ago, when the family group text started buzzing, Mom sent the usual directive. We'll do Christmas at Emily's this year. She's been working so hard. Let's make it special for her. Special for Emily. Always Emily. I had suggested maybe trying something different, order catering this time, or rotate duties so everyone could actually enjoy the holiday. Mom's reply came swift and cheerful, but you're so gifted in the kitchen, honey. And Emily has so much on her plate already. Translation, you're useful. She's precious. I wipe the cranberry from my apron, my fingers trembling as I grip the knife again. Something shifts in my chest, small but seismic, like tectonic plates grinding quietly beneath the surface. I carry the turkey into the dining room, the heavy roasting pan weighing down my arms. The table is already set. Emily arranged it before disappearing to curl her hair. Gold-rimmed plates, tall candles, napkins folded like swans. Not one finger lifted in the kitchen. I set the pan down firmly in the center. The thunk of metal on wood finally breaks the flow of conversation, 5 pairs of eyes flicking toward me. For a heartbeat, I think maybe, just maybe, someone will thank me. Instead, Mom's gaze slides right past me. Oh, Emily, sweetie, could you light the candles? It'll look so elegant for the photos. Not one word about the turkey. My jaw tightens. My hands clench. Emily laughs and strikes a match, soaking in the spotlight. My father lifts his glass. To Emily, for bringing us all together this Christmas. The words hit me like a punch to the ribs. I stare at him. At all of them. My voice escapes before I can swallow it back. No. The word falls into the air like a stone into glass. Shattering. Conversation halts. Emily freezes mid-match. Mom blinks. Dad lowers his glass slowly. What did you say? Mom asks, her smile frozen, brittle. I said no. My voice sounds steadier than I feel. Emily didn't bring this family together. I did. I cooked everything. I've been here since Wednesday while I jab a finger in Emily's direction rolled in a few hours ago with a bottle of wine. A silence falls heavy across the table, the kind you feel in your bones. Dad clears his throat, his tone darkening. Watch your attitude, Sarah. Your sister. Drove 20 minutes from her apartment, I snap. I've been cooking for 3 days. The unspoken rules of our family hang thick in the air. I've broken them. And yet, my heart hammers against my ribs with something that feels suspiciously like freedom. Mom laughs nervously, smoothing her napkin. She's just tired, that's all. Emily, the turkey looks wonderful, doesn't it? Yeah, Emily mumbles, clearly uncomfortable. The conversation lurches back into motion, wrapping around me like I'm invisible again. But inside me, something has changed. I take my seat slowly, not rushing back to fetch water, not leaping up for extra napkins, not disappearing into the background of my own holiday. I pour myself a generous glass of wine, the liquid shimmering in the candlelight. Across the table, Aunt Linda meets my eyes, her brow furrowed, and gives me the smallest nod. The kind of acknowledgement I've been starving for. The meal unfolds in a blur of Emily's stories, Dad's booming laughter, Mom's constant doting. But my mind isn't in the room. Because when I escaped to the kitchen to catch my breath, I saw it. Mom's laptop left open on the counter. Facebook glowing on the screen. Her latest post, so proud of Emily for hosting Christmas dinner this year. She has such a talent for making everything perfect. My stomach twists. Talent? Perfect? Emily didn't chop an onion. She didn't touch the oven. Scrolling, I find photo after photo, birthdays, Thanksgivings, Easters. Emily front and center, Mom and Dad flanking her like royalty. And me? Sometimes a blur in the background, carrying trays, cleaning spills, never once the focus. Never once the child worth celebrating. The kitchen walls close in around me. The truth crystallizes, undeniable. 32 years of being the invisible workhorse, the family chef, the backstage crew. Sarah, where's the pie? Mom calls from the dining room. My fingers tighten around the counter's edge. My heart pounds. I lift the pumpkin pie, sliding it onto a plate with trembling hands. My voice stays trapped in my throat, but inside me, the rebellion still thrums. That single no still echoing, daring me to say it again. And I know Christmas will never be the same. When I return to the dining room, my family is still gathered around the table like nothing happened. Emily at Dad's right hand, Mom beaming beside her, Uncle Gary leaning in to catch her every word. Just set it on the sideboard. Honey, Mom says without looking up, as I balance the pumpkin pie in my hands. You can serve from there. I place the pie down carefully, knife in hand, standing awkwardly as the conversation flows around me like a current determined to sweep me out to sea. Emily, tell them about your new condo, Mom prompts, resting a hand on her shoulder. Emily leans back, her designer blouse catching the candlelight. Just signed the lease last week. It's right downtown, walking distance to all the restaurants and shops. We'll have to go visit soon, Dad says warmly, pride swelling in his voice. Like when we took that Napa trip last spring. My grip on the knife falters. My breath catches. What Napa trip? A moment of silence, brief, sharp before Mom's laugh cuts through. Oh, just a quick getaway. You were so busy with work, sweetheart. I wasn't invited, I say flatly. The words drop onto the table like stones. Emily shifts uncomfortably, but Uncle Gary clears his throat. Speaking of family things, I think Emily should take Grandma's china set. It'll look beautiful in her new condo. My stomach twists. Grandma's china. The one I've admired since childhood, the set I'd quietly dreamed of one day displaying in my own home. Really? Emily says, her voice light with surprise, though her eyes flash with triumph. Of course, Gary nods. It should go to someone who entertains. Someone who entertains? I bite the inside of my cheek so hard I taste blood. Dad chimes in easily, makes sense. Emily will use it more than you would, Sarah. Especially since we helped her with the condo down payment. You know how brutal rent is these days. The pieces click into place with a sickening snap. The same parents who told me I was irresponsible for buying my modest townhouse on my own, with no help, have just handed Emily thousands for a downtown condo. I force a smile, the edges brittle. Pie, anyone? I slice and serve, standing while they remain seated, my hands mechanical, my body a servant carrying out its function. The conversation swells again, Emily's promotion, Emily's travel, Emily's new yoga class. Each word reinforces the truth settling like cement in my bones. My only value here is service. I am the holiday labor force, the one who shops, cooks, cleans. The invisible hands keeping tradition alive while the spotlight shines on someone else. Would I vanish from their lives entirely if I stopped? Would I even exist in their eyes without the pies, the roasts, the spotless dishes? Coffee, anyone? I hear myself ask, already heading toward the kitchen. That would be lovely, dear, Mom says, finally glancing my way. And could you grab some more napkins? Emily spilled a little cranberry. I nod quickly, turning before they can see the sting in my eyes. As I pass Aunt Linda, she reaches under the table and squeezes my hand. Her voice is a whisper only I can hear, I see you. The words nearly undo me. I keep walking. The one who stayed late every night, who covered everyone else's slack, who earned most reliable both at work and at home. But lately, the weight of it all is crushing. My body rebels nights of insomnia, acid burning my throat, endless lists scribbled on scraps of paper. That night, when the clock reads 3:14 a.m. and sleep won't come, I pull out my journal. At the top of the page, I write things I want. Then I stare at the blank paper. What do I want? Has anyone ever even asked me? Have I ever asked myself? The next morning, I arrive at work an hour early, finish the Reynolds draft, and clear my inbox. When my boss checks in, I look him square in the eye. I've completed everything due this week, I say. I'm taking Friday off. Not asking. Telling. He blinks in surprise. Sure. You've got the time. Everything okay? Just taking care of myself, I answer, the words foreign but exhilarating. Thursday afternoon, Jessica from accounting leans against my cubicle wall. A bunch of us are doing a holiday night Saturday. No family drama, just friends, food, and truly awful karaoke. You in? I hesitate. I don't know. I've got a lot to do for Christmas at Emily's. She rolls her eyes. One night for yourself won't kill you. I laugh for the first time in weeks. Questionable karaoke? The worst, she grins. But that's the fun of it. Something inside me cracks open. For the first time, the possibility of joy, simple, unburdened joy, feels real. And in that moment, I realize, maybe this year doesn't have to belong to Emily. Maybe, finally, it could belong to me. The karaoke bar is half empty when Jessica drags me inside Saturday night, but the neon lights and smell of fried food feel like freedom. You're up next, she grins, scribbling my name onto the sign-up sheet before I can protest. I didn't agree to this. I protest, laughing, but she's already ordering nachos. When my name is called, I take the mic with shaking hands. The song starts, and I butcher the first verse so badly the crowd erupts into laughter, the warm, good kind. Something breaks open inside me. I throw my head back and lean into it, singing louder, off-key, but alive. Jessica whoops. A stranger high-fives me when I step off the stage. For the first time in years, I am not responsible for anyone's happiness but my own. Back at work Monday, I find myself smiling at random moments. My coworkers notice. Jessica nudges me during lunch. See? Told you it helps. That afternoon, my phone buzzes with a text from Mom. Don't forget to bring your big casserole dish for Christmas. Emily's oven is smaller, so you'll need to cook half your dishes here and reheat there. The smile fades. I stare at the message, feeling the old weight pressed down. But then I remember the microphone in my hands, the taste of cheap nachos, the sound of my own unrestrained laughter. Instead of replying, I close the text and slip my phone into my desk drawer. That evening, I stand in my kitchen reheating leftovers when the phone rings again. This time it's Mom calling. Sarah, hi. Just wanted to confirm the menu. Emily's worried we won't have enough appetizers. I grip the counter, forcing my voice steady. Mom, I haven't agreed to cook everything yet. A pause. As if the line itself doesn't understand my words. Well, of course you have, sweetheart. Who else would? That's the problem, I say quietly. Silence stretches on the line, thick as molasses. Sarah, she says finally, her tone clipped. We all have our roles. Yours is hosting and cooking. It's what you're good at. Why are you making this difficult? I want to shout, to list every year I've spent trapped in the kitchen while others laughed in the living room. But instead, I just say, because I'm tired. I hang up before she can respond. My hands tremble, but my chest feels strangely light. Later that night, I sit at my desk and pull out my journal again. On a fresh page, I write, what if I skipped Christmas? The thought alone feels like opening a locked window. I picture Emily's glittering condo, the clink of champagne glasses, Mom's voice directing me like an unpaid employee. Then I picture myself elsewhere, anywhere. On impulse, I draft an email. Not to my family, but to myself. A manifesto, a declaration. This year, I will not cook. I will not scrub. I will not disappear into the background. I will not sacrifice my joy for their convenience. If they love me, they will love me without the pies and stuffing. I read it back to myself, the words sharp, defiant. A tremor runs through me. The next day at work, Jessica catches me brooding over my coffee. You're still thinking about Christmas, aren't you? I nod. It's like, if I don't do it, the whole thing falls apart. And if it does, they'll blame me forever. She shrugs. Or maybe they'll finally realize what you actually do for them. I don't think they ever will, I admit. Jessica leans across the table. Then maybe that's not your problem. Her words echo in my mind all week. Not my problem. On Wednesday, I get another text from Mom. Don't forget your apron. Emily doesn't want grease stains in her kitchen. This time, I laugh. Out loud. Thursday night, Jessica comes over with Chinese takeout. She finds me staring at my computer screen, a half-written email glowing back at me. Read it, she insists, stealing an egg roll. I swallow hard and obey. My voice shakes at first, but gains strength with each line. Mom, Dad, Emily. This year, I will not be cooking for Christmas. I will not be arriving early to set up, nor will I be staying late to clean. I've spent years pouring myself into holidays that left me exhausted and invisible. I'm choosing something different. I don't know yet what my Christmas will look like, but it won't be in Emily's kitchen. If you'd like me there as a guest, I'll consider it. But I will no longer be the help. By the time I finish, Jessica is grinning ear to ear. That's it. That's the email. Hit send. My finger hovers over the button. My whole body trembles. What if they hate me for it? I whisper. Jessica squeezes my hand. Then at least they'll hate the real you, not the version they've been using. I close my eyes. Click. The email whooshes into cyberspace, irreversible. My breath comes fast, shallow, until Jessica presses a fortune cookie into my hand. Read it. I crack it open. The slip of paper reads, "Your courage will be rewarded." I laugh, tears spilling freely for the first time in weeks. That night, I sleep soundly. The next morning, I wake to a flurry of notifications. Family group chat. Missed calls from Mom. 2 voicemails from Dad. A single, curt text from Emily. Are you serious? I don't open any of them. Not yet. Instead, I brew coffee slowly, savoring the smell, the quiet. For once, my day begins on my terms. When I finally check my phone, I start with Dad's voicemail. Sarah, your mother says you're refusing to cook. This doesn't make sense. We can talk later. His voice sounds strained, uncertain. Then Mom's message, sharp with anger. Sarah, I don't know what's gotten into you, but this is selfish. Christmas is about family, not about you making some kind of statement. But the last message is softer, unexpected. Aunt Linda again. I read your email. I want you to know I'm proud of you. Call me if you need backup. I sink into the couch, phone pressed to my chest, tears sliding down my cheeks. For the first time, I am not alone in this. The following Saturday, my phone buzzes with a call I didn't expect. Dad. I stare at the screen, paralyzed. He almost never calls directly. Usually it's Mom, with him mumbling something in the background. But his name glows insistently, waiting. I answer. Hi, Dad. Sarah. His voice sounds rougher than I remember, uncertain. Your mother told me about your decision. I brace myself, waiting for the lecture, the guilt trip. Instead, there's silence. Then, I just don't understand. Why no? My throat tightens. Because I'm tired, Dad. Every year, I cook, clean, serve, and it's never enough. You toasted Emily for bringing the family together at Thanksgiving while I was still in the kitchen. I expect him to deny it, to deflect. But all he says is, I didn't realize. The words land like a pebble in a canyon, tiny, almost meaningless, but echoing into places I didn't expect. I can't do it anymore, I whisper. He sighs, long and weary. Your mother wants to meet you for coffee. Just hear her out, Sarah. I hesitate, but finally agree. Maybe closure requires facing her head-on. The cafe meeting. The following Wednesday, I sit in a cozy corner booth of Sunflower Cafe, hands wrapped around a steaming mug of chai. Holiday music plays softly over the speakers, ironic, given the war brewing between me and my family. When Mom walks in, she's clutching a leather-bound photo album. Her lips curve into a tight smile, but her eyes scan me like I'm a soldier gone AWOL. She doesn't order anything, just sits down, flipping the album open. Look at this, she says, turning the pages. Adrian's kindergarten graduation, his soccer trophies, his college acceptance letter, his wedding. Adrian in every photo, front and center, parents beaming at his side. You and your brother, you've always been different, she murmurs. Yes, I say quietly. He was the star. I was the stage crew. She flinches, but doesn't deny it. Instead, she taps Adrian's smiling face in one of the photos. He has clients coming for Christmas. Important people. He wants to impress them with a family meal. Don't you see how vital this is? I almost laugh. Vital to who? To him? To you? Because I don't see how it's vital to me. Her eyes flash. Don't be petty, Sarah. You're good at this. Cooking is your gift. No, Mom. My voice sharpens, cutting through the cafe noise. Cooking is my obligation. A cage you built around me, dressed up as a compliment. She gasps, offended. That's not fair. We've always appreciated your effort. I pull a folder from my bag, sliding it across the table. She hesitates before opening it. Inside are 2 photos and a handwritten list. The first photo, last Easter, Adrian seated proudly in the middle, Mom and Dad flanking him, while I'm blurred in the corner carrying a tray of deviled eggs. The second, Thanksgiving. Adrian raising a glass in toast, me in the background refilling water glasses. The list, 32 family gatherings where I cooked every dish. For birthdays of mine rescheduled to accommodate Adrian's plans. Years of being useful but invisible. Her face tightens with each line she reads. You appreciate what I do, I tell her. But you don't appreciate me. There's a difference. Her hands shake slightly as she closes the folder. So, what do you want? What would it take to fix this? The question hangs between us, weighted with decades of imbalance. For the first time, I don't rush to fill the silence. I let her squirm. Finally, I say, I want to be treated like a daughter, not a servant. I want to show up to Christmas as a guest or not at all. No lists, no instructions, no expectations. Just me. Her lips pressed together, trembling. That's a lot to ask. No, Mom, I reply softly. That's the bare minimum. The counteroffer. That evening, my phone lights up with a message from Emily. I can't believe you're doing this to us. Do you know how stressed Mom is? Just come for one day. That's all I'm asking. I delete the text without replying. 5 minutes later, another buzz. Aunt Linda. Heard about the cafe showdown. Proud of you. If you need somewhere to be on Christmas, my door's open. Tears blur my vision. The contrast is stark, one sibling trying to guilt me back into place, another relative offering me freedom. I grab my laptop, searching flights, hotels, anywhere but here. Jessica sits beside me on the couch, scrolling with me. Key West, she suggests, showing me a boutique hotel with turquoise waters and hammocks strung between palms. The image feels like oxygen. I click book. For once, Christmas will be mine. The fallout. The next morning, Dad calls again. Your mother told me you booked a trip. His voice holds no anger, just confusion. I did. A pause. Well, she's upset. Adrian too. But maybe this is what they need to finally see. His words catch me off guard. For a moment, I wonder if he's taking my side. Then, maybe next year, things will be different. In the meantime, be careful, Sarah. The world's not always kind when you stand alone. I'm not alone, I tell him, glancing at Jessica's sleeping form on my couch, my booked reservation glowing on my laptop, Aunt Linda's text still open on my phone. Not anymore. the shift. That night, as I pack for Key West, a strange calm settles over me. Mom hasn't texted again. Emily hasn't called. Even Adrian's silence feels like a crack in the facade, a recognition that his perfect Christmas might crumble without me. But for once, their panic isn't my responsibility. I fold swimsuits and sundresses into my suitcase, each piece of fabric a promise to myself. I will not go back. Not to that kitchen. Not to that role. As I zip the suitcase closed, I whisper aloud, "This year is mine." And for the first time, I believe it. The cafe showdown leaves an ache in my chest, but also a strange lightness in my steps. For the first time, I've said everything out loud. No more hiding behind polite smiles or quiet resentments. That night, Jessica and I sit cross-legged on my living room floor, takeout containers scattered between us. She pops open her laptop and waves it dramatically. "Operation Freedom Christmas continues," she says. "Key West is waiting for us." I laugh, not the brittle kind I used to hide behind, but real, bubbling laughter. The kind that feels like reclaiming oxygen. Christmas Eve. The morning sun warms my face as Jessica and I toss our bags into her car. Holiday music blares from the radio, but instead of making me tense, it feels like background noise to a new adventure. By the time we reach Key West, the sky is painted pink and gold. Our boutique hotel greets us with palm trees strung in fairy lights. The air smells of salt water and possibility. "This beats cranberry relish duty," Jessica teases as we step onto the balcony of our room. "Everything beats cranberry relish duty," I reply, grinning. That night, instead of sweating over an oven, I'm barefoot in the sand with a plastic cup of rum punch in hand. Theo, one of Jessica's friends, tells outrageous stories about his boss, and I laugh so hard my ribs ache. For once, I'm not calculating oven timers or checking gravy consistency. I'm simply here, present, alive. When Jessica waves her phone for a photo, I don't shrink to the edges of the frame. I step in, arms around my friends, smiling without hesitation. The camera clicks. And for the first time in years, I know I'll be centered in the memory. The fallout at home. Back on the mainland, my phone buzzes with texts. First, from Aunt Linda. "Your mother told me Adrian tried to cook a turkey. Nearly smoked out the kitchen." The fire alarm wouldn't stop. Then a follow-up with a laughing emoji. They ended up ordering Chinese food. "Your dad was not pleased." I can't help but chuckle. Another message arrives, this time from Dad. Short, direct. "We need to talk when you're back." I place the phone face down on the nightstand and let it rest. For once, their chaos isn't my responsibility. The new year. 11 months later, Thanksgiving looks nothing like it used to. My Orlando condo smells of rosemary and garlic as I pull a turkey from the oven. But this time, I'm not alone in the kitchen. Theo mashes potatoes at the counter while chatting with Aunt Linda's daughter. Jessica sets mismatched plates on the table. Aunt Linda herself fusses with the wine bottles, humming under her breath. When I carry the turkey out, no one stays seated, waiting. Everyone rushes to help, grabbing dishes, clearing space, making room for the feast we all built together. "This beats Adrian's stuffy dining room," Aunt Linda whispers with a wink as I pour her a glass of wine. We laugh, clinking glasses. The sound holds no bitterness, only warmth. The table is chaotic, seashells from Key West scattered as a centerpiece, candles leaning slightly to one side, plates that don't match. But it feels right. It feels like home. When we raise a toast, Jessica grins. "To chosen family, the kind that sees you." I add softly, "to traditions that nourish, not drain." Everyone echoes the words, glasses raised, and my heart swells with something I haven't felt in years, belonging. An unexpected call. 2 weeks later, my phone buzzes again. Dad's name. I answer without dread this time. "Hi, Dad." His voice sounds older, worn. "Sarah, your mother and I were wondering if we could visit for Christmas this year. Just the two of us." I stare at the photo on my wall, the one from Thanksgiving. Me in the middle, smiling, surrounded by people who value me for more than what I provide. "I'd like that," I say carefully. but things would be different. We'd cook together, not just me. And I'm hosting a Christmas Eve gathering with friends. That won't change. The silence on his end stretches long. My chest tightens, waiting. Finally, he exhales. I think we can manage that. The final shift. On Christmas morning, sunlight pours into my living room. My friends chatter in the kitchen. Aunt Linda jokes about her failed pie crust. Jessica sips coffee in a reindeer sweater. My parents arrive a little after 10, hesitant but smiling. For the first time, Mom carries a dish in her hands, store-bought cookies, awkwardly wrapped but offered freely. It's not perfect, but it's something. When we gather around my table, there's no single star of the show, no invisible servant. Just people passing dishes, sharing laughter, building something new. I don't know if years of imbalance can truly be undone, but I know this much: I'll never go back to being invisible. This is my life now, chosen, not assigned. And as the camera clicks, capturing me laughing in the center of my own holiday, I realize I'm finally in the picture where I belong.